So whenever you're ready.
Okay. I'm Bill Turner. I have been involved in the land change science or land system science community virtually from its very beginning. Land modeling has always been, of course, an important component of land change science. In some sense, it's almost the uh, signifier of what that field is, even though the original uh, establishment of land change science was much, much broader than simply land modeling. Now, why did we need to advance land change models? We needed to, in part, because the global environmental change and sustainability communities very much needed to have robust projections of land change in order to insert into their own models dealing with climate change, terrestrial surface change, species diversity loss, and so forth. And this required an integration of both land cover change and land use change, which meant they needed to engage the community that sat at the intersection of human environment systems. And this was the very community that devised the land change science program as it is currently articulated in the Global Land Project and other such efforts of the IGBP and the IHDP. Now, what happened very quickly in the modeling community is, among the land change modelers, was, I would argue, the development of sort of two sets of modeling communities. One set that essentially were environmental modelers or social economic modelers who integrated themselves into land change modeling, but did so from a very, I would say, strict modeling background. The other community were modelers as well, but they were modelers that were attached themselves to larger land change system or land change projects in which there were multiple facets of integration, and they were attempting to take the social and the biophysical and put them together as those projects moved along. Now, within both of those communities, we've had a whole series of advancements in models, from binomial logit to agent-based in kind. All of these aimed at sort of two different efforts. One was to project land change, almost invariably in the near term, because the non-stationarity of the factors that drive land change make any long-term assessment quite difficult. Second was that group that was not so much interested in projecting land change, but in understanding why that land change was taking place. This was particularly among the econometricians that entered the land change field. And so that what we have is, after an initial effort focused on projecting land change, an equally concerted effort examining why land change is taking place through the use of models. One of the external critiques of such modeling efforts is that perhaps they're insensitive to qualitative and other ways of knowing which are central to land change. Here, it must be understood that the land change community has always recognized that case studies, qualitative methods, qualitative data, and whatnot are absolutely essential to informing land change models. And in fact, I would suggest that some of the most robust models that we have out there are those that have been informed by such qualitative data and adjusted in kind. The next phase of land, all the advances that we've made have been really outstanding, but I suggest there's a next phase of modeling that we're moving to. And that is land models that can be used to address trade-offs in ecosystem services and trade-offs among those services and the human impacts that result. If we're going to move in that direction, we not only have to have models that produce spatially explicit outcomes, which we do, but we have to have models that account for the spatial dynamics of the processes that are involved. And that includes the scale dynamics. That means the degree to which how the processes are operating in one circumstance are affected by processes acting at a larger or smaller scale. I think we're moving in that particular direction, and I would encourage people to pay attention to a 2013 report by the National Research Council on the state of art of land change modeling, which will also make the case that we need to move towards these trade-off assessments at multiple scales. Done.